recording. Hope this goes well. I just pulled up some stuff. I don't know if you've seen them or not. I'm just pulling them up in just content.
Content.
Content. That's all that. That's all this. Alright, so... Hey guys! Remember that we did stuff on this channel?
Yeah.
It's been fucking months, probably even over a year since we've... that I've uploaded on this channel. Yeah, BS Squad channel hasn't really done shit. We haven't done anything. I think we've tried to do some things, but they haven't worked.
Yeah. And when we did do some things in the past, the files get kind of corrupted a few times. Yeah.
So, no, but we're here with another React video because those are fun. So mainly because recently that it'll go up on my channel. Me and Lucas played Playtime Chapter 4. So that was a lot of fun, and the fact that it did come out during this year. We're gonna be reacting to some Poppy Playtime related stuff. Mainly just one video of the something from Black Gryphon, and then we're gonna just react to a little bit of the Poppy Playtime stuff from Game Theory. That's what I have planned. So, yeah.
He's gummy, he's squishy, he's funny. D-O-E-Y. He's silly, he's gooey, he's sticky, he's gluey. D-O-E-Y.
Look at all the colors.
So many toys in one. Triple time the friend and triple time the fun.
This is like the intro.
D-O-E-Y.
Yep.
Love it till the day that you die. Pianosaurus. He plays just for us.
Jesus. My question is, how are you supposed to play with Dinosaurus? Pianosaurus. Yeah, like how big is he supposed to be as a thing? Because from looks of it, you're supposed to be able to
play him.
Yeah.
Keep watching.
It would take an extinction level event to stop this late Cretaceous composer.
He's the Pianosaurus. He plays just for us.
I love the jingle. It's great. Even though Black Gryphon didn't make all the jingles for like all the chapters, the ones that are made just for every chapter, for like the one that was made for Mommy Longlegs for that little commercial, and then there was and then that little one that was made for that Smiling Critters little cartoon in the beginning of chapter 3. Those were all just very well made. That made it seem like an actual fucking commercial that you would see on TV. So it's just really impressive. All right, this looks like they did one for the Nightmare Critters. Which do you remember them at all from the 4th chapter?
Barely, fucking barely.
Like, because they were just the same enemy as the regular Smiling Critters, so it's like you barely recognize them.
They were just retextured. That's it.
Yeah, just different animals.
You know, except for the black sheep.
That one is really popular for some reason.
Well, isn't he like an enemy that you have to face anyways?
Giving you the jitters might just be the Nightmare Critters.
Jesus Christ.
The fun never ends. Cozy and godly, your new best friend.
You were the annoying little shit that we had to fight.
He'll hold you close.
He would be adorable if you don't look at his claw.
Yeah.
Protecting your dreams.
Because like you can tell those are sharp claws.
Yeah. It's supposed to be like a lion, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yarnaby. Oh, that's it. Yeah. Game theory. It's a whole. We're also not going to go through all of them, but we're going to go through some of the game theories.
There are 17 of them.
Yeah. So this one,
Jeez.
this one's I think is mainly about chapter 1. which is fine. Oh shit, I should probably do that shit.
Doki Doki Literature Club solved. Bendy and the Ink Machine solved.
it?
Five Nights at Freddy's solved. Maybe then kind of retconned and solved
It's
again.
not even
I don't
close to
know.
being solved,
Kinda
man.
Solved. Yeah, remains to be seen.
Really,
Anyway,
just got a
today
new
there's
game.
a new challenger, Poppy Playtime. And with only one chapter available, this thing
I
is
miss
ripe
that,
for the theorizing. We've seen children's toys and
Yeah.
games trying to kill us in the past, but it's never been anything like this.
But his crew's doing pretty good.
Also, so one funny thing I saw recently about MadPat, apparently he's starting his political career. He did like some speech and he wants to like work with Congress to pass a bill something about content creators or whatever, or like with like safety with people online and stuff. So something very very good, and then people started memeing it to death, being like, "Dude, I would vote for MadPat for president." And then there was like all those memes like, "Please rise for the national anthem." And then it would play the game theory themes. When I saw him, like, bro, I was
Uh,
no, but no, even if that were possible, I would never want to change our country's national anthem. I don't think anyone
Yeah.
should. I mean, the only way I would think to change it isn't to replace it with a song that already exists. I would say write a new song. That's what I would say.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory, where today I wanted to start off by introducing you to our latest piece of merch. Say hello to the Maddie Pally doll. Maddie Pally, the perfect friend for every theorist.
But hey, that's just a theory.
And that's not all he can say. He's actually full of all the favorite catchphrases from the channel.
I'm coming to get you, MadPat.
Oh, okay. Very funny. Who changed the voice box?
No one did, MadPat.
Okay.
I'm going to kill you, MadPat, and that's no theory.
And we're done with
Burn
that
it.
one. Why do
Burn
we
it with
always end
fire.
up with all the creepy possessed stuff. This is just
Yeah.
the brand now. But hey, if you like all things creepy, why not hit that subscribe button? If you
Dude, I've
don't,
been
well, let's
subscribed
just
for
say that I
fucking
can't
years, bro.
guarantee your safety from whatever scary toys you have lurking around your house. To be fair, I can't really do that even if you do push the subscribe button, but still, pushing that button won't hurt. So, Poppy Playtime, the latest horror craze filling the void of emptiness as we asymptotically approach the release of Security Breach. If there's a formula for indie horror, this thing checks all the boxes. Simple creative gameplay? Check. Horrific childhood playthings? Check. Mysterious hidden lore sprinkled throughout? Double check. So today we're gonna look at the first chapter to start piecing together what's really going on in this game and what's gonna be coming in the future installments. And let me tell you this, while it may certainly look similar to the dozens of indie horror games that we've seen in the past, this one has some unexpected twists that make it all the more surprising and the more terrifying. And I gotta say, for the first time in what seems like forever, there's no malicious AI trying to steal your identity to escape their video game prison by hopping into your body. No matter what else this story
For
entails,
once.
big props on being creative on that one. When we boot up Chapter 1, we're told that we're taking on the role of an ex-employee of the Playtime company, finally returning to the factory years after everyone mysteriously disappeared inside. If that's not a theorist invite, I don't know what is. What happened? Why are
To be
we
honest,
the
with
ones
that
who
part,
remain?
it's like, okay, that
And
means you
already
probably
there are
left
so
a
many
couple
questions
days
circulating
before
around.
everything
So,
happened.
to start our adventure, we receive a note informing us that these missing employees never actually left the building, alongside a VHS tape that introduces us to the titular character Poppy Playtime, a doll with hair that smells like poppies, weirdly realistic eyes, and the ability to have actual conversations.
She is the first truly intelligent doll in the world. A little girl can talk to her, Poppy gives her answers.
Which, gotta say, is a whole lot of red flags right off the bat. I've played enough horror
Actually,
games over the years to
that-
know that when
that actually goes with, like, the
start talking to
commercial
you,
with-
you start
with
running in
Doey.
the other direction. But I don't know, it's a game. What else
It's
am I
like-
gonna do? I'm curious, so off
You're
to the
basically
factory.
giving people a sentient thing of dough, of Play-Doh. Also, didn't you realize in like the pic, like when he was bouncing around, that when he hit things, things changed color and stuff? One of the things that changed was the picture frame. There was him doing this with two others. Two of them were like, well, one was like in a sad or something like that kind of emotion.
From what I know, we kind of learned it, but from what I also when I dug a little deeper about it, so it's pretty it was pretty obvious that Doey is kind of I don't know if you would call it possessed or not, but we were turned into dough. He became doughy by combining like 3 different kids.
By 3 different kids. I remember that. I was the one who for you guys. Remember?
Yeah. But like, so like, and I'm pretty sure some of the colors were supposed to represent their emotion that each one represented. So like one was like anger,
Yeah.
one was I think was sadness, and I think one was
Sadness and fear, and the other was joy.
yeah. It's like 3 of the Inside Out characters put into a toy.
Yep. But every so often, each one would take control more than the others.
Go. Right off the bat, we find a giant version of the popular Playtime company mascot, Huggy Wuggy. Huh, those cold dead eyes aren't ominous at all. Sure, nothing bad's gonna come from this guy. Now, watching playthroughs of Poppy Playtime, there is one thing that immediately stands out. Everyone high-fives Huggy.
High five.
High five, buddy!
Everyone does. You did the exact same thing, too.
You need to say hi to Huggy Wuggy. Welcome to Playtime Go.
Yeah, buddy. High five.
Again, he was right. Everyone high fives Huggy. Everyone.
High five, man. Let's go. Even me. High five, Huggy.
Boom!
Apparently, there's just some sort of primal reflex in our monkey brains. Raised hand equals high five. From there, we unlock the second hand of our grab pack. We get to build one of the toys, and look, it's that Muppet reject that we met earlier, except now he's trying to kill us. Oh no, who could have seen that one coming? I mean, to be fair, it is a legitimately terrifying encounter. Once we manage to escape the nightmare by throwing him down into the factory
I
abyss, we
screamed
see
a
a
lot
large
during that
flower on the
sequence.
wall, along with
You
all
died a
sorts of
bunch,
warnings
too.
about why
I
we
did,
shouldn't
yeah.
go through that door, but nah, those people clearly didn't know what they were talking about. We plow our way inside and find Poppy herself
This is
resting
probably the
inside a
creepiest
glass
part of the
case.
chapter
Without
was the
any
ending.
forethought or concern for our own
Yeah.
well-being, we
You know
rip
what
open
I
the case
realized
because,
with
of course,
her being in the case and stuff?
Yeah.
If Prototype is who put her in the case in the first place after things went down, why not take the case with it to its lair to keep an eye on her instead of just leaving it like closer to the surface? Like Prototype left it her close to the surface instead of keeping an eye on her.
we do.
You can't even say a
Does
thing
not
'cause you're
exist
eating.
In these universes, we almost died in the arms of this giant Sesame Street reject. Let's just make our presence
he's
known to
Elmo's
the creepy living
big-ass
hell
cousin.
now. The lights flash, Poppy's eyes open, and we get the final line of the chapter.
You opened my case.
And that's it. Big old
Which is one of the
cliffhanger.
creepiest
Installed.
lines that
Is
you
it
can
just
hear.
me, or did it feel like there was something more going on here? Who am I kidding? Of course there's something more going on here. This is a modern indie horror game. There's hidden lore all over this thing. For starters, let's
He's
scroll
not
down a
wrong.
bit to take a closer look at Huggy Wuggy himself. We know from the opening placard that the toy was made in 1984 and became Playtime Company's most popular mascot, but how do you go from this to this? Toys just don't come to life, unless Toy Story was right all along. They don't. So what is this thing? Well, for obvious reasons, I immediately jumped to animatronic. But the game actually gives us clues that he's something else entirely. Something even more horrifying than we could have ever anticipated. If you're unfortunate enough to get killed by Huggy during the chase, you get a randomized death screen with a message that ranges from "It's not your time" to "Don't let them inside." But mixed in there is the chance of you seeing one that reads EXP 1006, isn't he wonderful? This would suggest that someone is asking us what we think of their experiment, the monster that just killed us. This isn't the only time that we see Huggy referred to by this name either. Throughout the game, we discover VHS tapes with recordings from various factory employees. The last one you receive is simply titled Unknown, and on it we hear this message.
Final log in relation. Experiment 1006. The prototype. Coordination and cooperation is evidently within his skill set, though still missing. Today's events are no doubt in relation to him. We must forge onwards in the name of science, whether those who are beneath us understand it or not.
So he's an experiment within.
Okay, so okay, I have a feeling he's gonna say that that's Huggy Wuggy, but I'm pretty sure that's literally just the prototype.
Who? Because you cut out for her real quick?
I think MapPad's about to think that because in chapter 1 they haven't seen the prototype during when he made this theory.
Yeah.
So I think he's about to say that experiment
Huggy.
1006. The prototype is Huggy Wuggy.
Huggy.
So- which-
It's been a long time, so
yeah, but like, I mean, to be fair though, if I were thinking about it, I probably would have thought the same thing.
In the facility that escaped and clearly created an incident within the factory, but this still doesn't explain why I think his creation is different from something like the animatronics in FNAF. Well, in the trailer for the game, we get our first look at Huggy, walking towards us while bits of text flash up on screen. These messages seem to be excerpts from documents of Playtime code, but before you can read them, most of the text disappears to reveal a new, eerie sentence. But you know I'm gonna pause the video and read all the frame-perfect stuff, right? Most of the vanishing messages cover pretty standard stuff, mostly about grab pack safety. That is, until we get to the 43-second mark of the trailer, where suddenly we have a giant wall of darkened rolling text happening behind the main message. Hold the phone! Things that are hidden in the dark? What is this, a 2015 FNAF 4 teaser image? So, true to form, I do what I do best. I lower the contrast, I up the brightness, and voila, we got this. Experiment 1006. The prototype. He seems serviceable as the prime example for the type of vessel which we're trying to create. Despite his digestive tract being wired properly, the prototype finds no necessity for sustenance, unlike the others. All other experiments can only survive while subsisting on much larger portions. Huggy, as well as these other experiments, has a digestive system. That's not something an animatronic possessed by the soul of a dead child.
Wait, you know what I
would
just
be.
realized?
It leads me to
What?
believe that Huggy
Okay, you know how in like one of the chapters, Mommy Longo said they'll make him part of him, and like with prototype, not meat, like he has a digestive system, he has organics, yet he doesn't need to eat, and we eat in order to keep our cell count, to keep our bodies building themselves. Our bodies need that protein and stuff to constantly build itself.
Mm-hmm.
So if he does not have the necessity and need to eat, and so he cannot regenerate his cells.
Right.
So and she said make me part of him, which means she'll be taken apart and added to him. He's basically making himself a Frankenstein of.
I mean, if you remember what,
That's
we,
my theory.
We don't have a full image of what the prototype looks like. We only seen little bits and pieces of what he could look like. But
we've only seen his fucking hand.
But then we've also seen, we've seen in chapter 4. You see, I think we see his body a little bit, but because he passed by us, but we haven't seen his full. But we haven't seen his full body yet. But also, there's also that shrine that Catnap makes in chapter 3 that can give us somewhat of a small idea of what he could look like.
He is a living
Who knows how long
creature,
it'll take.
not just a stuffed toy turned sentient. Although, if we're reading this right, Huggy just kills for fun. He doesn't need to eat, unlike the others.
Yeah, you were right.
Take a look at the scene where you cause the walkway to collapse. Huggy falls into the factory below, hitting 2 pipes along the way. Notice anything unusual? Here's the before and after shot to make it easy for you. You see, there's blood on the pipes. Huggy bleeds. He is definitely organic. A literal living, breathing monster.
That is disturbing to
How
see.
are they turning toys into organic creatures? For that, let's actually turn our attention to the perfect toy herself, Poppy. When we're introduced to her in that initial VHS tape, we're told that she's perfect. She has hair that smells like poppies, which, side note, I looked into, and it turns out that poppies don't really have that much of a smell. Unless, of course, you're talking about opium poppies, in which case you're opening up a whole lot of messed up there. In the olden days, opium was used to relax and help you to sleep. No wonder this thing was a hit, especially with the parents, but I'm getting myself sidetracked here. Anyway, the important part of this ad is that a child can have conversations with Poppy, and that she can
And like with that, it's basically showing that opium poppies are red.
Yeah.
And like every poppy design that we've seen is red. But I don't know if poppies come in any other colors, so I wouldn't know.
level of AI for a company that was around during the 1950s and 60s. Unless, of course, she's not an AI. In the teaser for Poppy Playtime, we see a tutorial on how to look after your Poppy doll. Near the end of the video, the voice box gets pulled out, and we see that it's dripping with blood. Again, leading me to believe that these toys are actually all organic. But with Poppy, we can actually go one step further and figure out how she's been made organic. You see, the hardest secret to find in Poppy Playtime Chapter 1 is a pink VHS tape right before the final chase. Wait. Oh my gosh, is that it? Oh, no way! Oh my gosh,
Like,
that was
the
it.
way he spotted it,
Wow.
though, was like,
It
what
really
the
doesn't want
fuck?
me to do this, but I don't care. Because I found the lore. Oh no! If you manage to find it before getting locked out, the tape shows you an interview with a prospective employee, Stella Graber. She's a woman obsessed with living forever, wanting to be more like a child and longing to bring joy to children like her toys did for her.
Your body just gets older and older, and then you die. Human bodies just can't stay young forever.
This tape feels really random in the grand scheme of things. Like, why would we be shown this? Well, it starts to make much more sense in the context of living organic toys. Based on the way that she talks, Stella would be the perfect candidate for some experiments that Playtime were running. I believe that they used employees, specifically Stella, to make Poppy. Not just transferred her consciousness either, but used her physical body.
He was wrong with his first video.
Brains, and in the case of Poppy, Stella's eyes. It seems like an extreme leap to make, but look at Poppy's eyes in the video.
But
Tell
it
me
also
that
makes
those aren't
sense, though.
human. You don't just add
From the
capillaries
perspective
to
of
your
just the
cute
first
little
chapter.
doll's eyes. This would also align with the whole bleeding thing. Organic bodies made of flesh and organs that can bleed. It's also worth mentioning that the voice actor for Stella is the same as the voice actor for Poppy. This may just be because of limited voice actors, but it also feels
Limited
like
voice
an interesting
actors.
detail to call out. If I'm right about Stella and Poppy being one and the same, I think it gives us a pretty good idea.
I mean, the
of
whole
what
ice
is
thing
in the
makes
wider
sense
story. The general
because
consensus
one,
online is that Poppy is going to be the big bad. I mean, the game's got her
like,
name on.
it's really hard for people to make eyes that look that realistic with even like the red on the outer parts of the eye and veins and shit.
Interesting detail to call out. If I'm right about Stella and Poppy being one and the same, I think it gives us a pretty good idea of what her part is in the wider story. The general consensus online is that Poppy is going to be the big bad. I mean, the game's got her name on it after all.
I mean, he's not wrong, actually, at this point.
Yeah, like, he's not wrong because a lot of the time, they always have the bad guy's name on the fucking cover.
Yeah, I mean, like, but at this point, though, we want to take down Poppy because she basically betrayed us. Yeah, she was nice, but like she kind of tricked us for her own plan that didn't work.
Yeah, you know what'd be an interesting twist with that? If she was one who helped Prototype start all the killing the employees thing.
Yeah, and maybe if we somehow figure out why she was first locked up in that case in the first place.
Oh, by the way, you sometimes cut out here and there, dude.
I know that's more Discord connection. It'll be fine for the video. Did you hear that?
All right.
Okay.
I didn't. I get what you mean.
But for me, I'm not so sure. I don't believe that Stella would be mad about being turned into a toy. I think that, honestly, she'd be delighted. She would not be delighted, however, in being locked
I know,
away
this
in a
Poppy
sealed
is
glass
mad.
case. Listen to that final line again when we open the glass case at the end of Chapter 1.
I don't get people's obsession with being like pet parent and stuff like that.
It sounds like a confused, but thankful response. By being locked away, she hasn't been able to go out into the world and bring joy to children. It's not much of an existence living inside a tiny box. Believe me, I know, doing this many videos every week, I've become very used to the confined space of my recording closet. Us coming along and freeing her? I think that's gonna be the rescue that she's been longing for.
That is creepier than I remember.
Also lead me to believe that Poppy isn't trying to kill us. Look again at these screens. I need you alive. It's it's too early to die. Death isn't permanent. Who is talking to us in these screens? Well, I think
Prototype.
it's Poppy.
I
She's
bet
the
it's
only other
Prototype.
character that we've been introduced to so far, so if it's not her, it kinda has to be someone else that we haven't really met yet. She's calling out to us. She needs us, and it's not just for her sake either. Another death screen reads, "More lives are at risk than just yours." Whoever this person is, they're hoping that we can help all of the vanished employees. And it doesn't end there. There's one final death screen to call out. This one, which looks like somebody head-desked their keyboard repeatedly, but it actually appears to be Cyrillic characters, or at least approximately close to Cyrillic characters. For those of you who don't know, Cyrillic is the alphabet used for Slavic languages. Places like Russia, Bulgaria, the Ukraine, you know, the countries that give new meaning to the word cold. Who knows, maybe the languages all look this way with the extra accents and swoops because people trying to write them are shivering all the time. Anyway, for it being Cyrillic, it actually looks to be a simple substitution cipher, with different characters representing different characters from the Latin alphabet that we're more familiar with. Notice these two in a row right here, probably EE or OO. Using that as our base and trying lots of different combinations, we can't come to a definitive conclusion. There just isn't enough letters here, but stay, they need help, certainly fits the pattern that we're seeing in the letters, which again hints at the fact that these are people, ex-employees trapped inside the bodies of the monsters looking to escape. All of this points to Poppy becoming our companion. Maybe she'll help us solve puzzles by getting into spaces that we can't, or she'll be able to distract the monsters while we progress, or she'll just be our guide through the factory maze, kind of like GLaDOS the potato from Portal 2. But in some small way,
Is the
I think
guide,
she's
more or
gonna be
less.
helping us both.
Guide, yeah. That's all she really is, because she'll basically just vacate the first chance she gets. And
Yeah,
then,
like you see her. Yeah, like you see her. She explains for a bit, and then something happens.
like it was like chapter 2, we had to save her, and then chapter 3, she was just on the sidelines while we took down Catnap, and then same thing for chapter 4. Chapter 4, she was on the sidelines, and we would see her every now and then. Yeah.
Yeah.
but then just like I think just obviously the mix up of thinking it's the employees are also toys, but no, they're all kids. Because like I mean, like even in chapter 1, there was like mention about the whole orphans thing. Because it was mentioned.
Yeah, but in chapter 1 it was more subtle.
Yeah, but it became more clear as you go through in like chapter 2 and especially 3.
Yeah. As you progress.
As you progress, it became more clear about it. So, but my most shocking thing with the entire game was just the hour of joy, seeing that shit for the first time. That was insane.
Save herself and all the others. So if Poppy is our helper, then who's our big bad? Well, remember the trailer? While discussing Huggy, it mentioned others. So did the VHS tape. We know that Huggy is experiment 1006, which, if this scientist has any respect for logical procedure, would imply that he's actually the 6th experiment they've created. Sure, they call him the prototype, but he's gained that name because, as the trailer said, he seems serviceable as the prime example for the type of vessel that we're trying to create. So they thought they'd got the experiment right that time, but clearly there were others before him, all with cognitive ability, but these ones are gonna be hungrier. They're gonna be more bloodthirsty than Huggy. And gotta admit, he was already pretty bad. So then who or what?
Well, I'd say this
Well, during the
Huggy's
game,
pretty
we're
damn
also made
hungry.
5 other toys that Playtime creates: Candy Cat, Boogie Bot,
Also,
Bronze,
my thing is
Happy,
like,
and a pink version of Huggy.
Prototype would have had to inform him, or something like that. That if he works for Prototype, anyways, no one really knows if he does or doesn't, because he doesn't speak.
Yeah, I'm glad of the characters we got for the chapters, but I wish we could have seen some of these characters that we just see on the sidelines.
Oh, you mean like
Brawn, Boogie Bot, Candy Cat, Cappy. We've seen Kissy Missy, but we've only seen the little. I guess as well. We actually saw Boogie Bot once in chapter 4. In the fucking safe haven. But
but he was dead. He was dead.
Well, now he is.
He was helping you until someone tore off his head.
Boogie Bot?
Yeah.
What are you referring to?
Boogie Bot. I was saying, wasn't his head torn off?
I think you're mixing Boogiebot with Pianosaurus.
No. He was on a chair and stuff like that, but I guess I was wrong. Yeah.
No,
It's
Boogiebot
been a bit.
that I'm referring to, when you first enter Safe Haven, Boogiebot was the one that mainly opens the door and secures the door and all that shit.
Oh, I think I was passed out during that part for you guys.
Yeah, because he looks like this, a small little robot guy. But we never seen any little bits of we've seen cutouts and the little
the body.
toys, but
you've seen bodies of Brawn too.
Yeah, but we never actually seen actual alive of these characters.
Which we'll call Ms. Huggy. If Huggy was experiment 1006 with 5 other toys available, I think it's likely that they're gonna be the monsters that show up in future chapters. But kicking us off in chapter 2, I believe, will be Cat B. Why? Well, because as much as there are references to all the other toys throughout the factory, Cat B's the one that has an active part in this chapter of the story. After
he was absolutely wrong with that.
Once we crawl through the vents, we end up at an assembly line, where we then proceed to activate and create
It's an interesting guess,
though. The others have all been background characters in the chapter, but we actively create.
You know who'd be terrifying to fight though?
Like a metaphor for the humans creating monsters, and
of the like ones that we've seen, Candy Cat.
All of it leaves me with one final question. Clearly,
because Candy Cat has an extremely long tongue.
Yeah.
And he's probably at the same size as Cat B, so he'll be able to run around, not being able to be seen, and strike you with his tongue.
Right.
Based on the vintage style of the Poppy ad and the fact that the ad is actually in color, which is something that wasn't available until the 1960s. Huggy Wuggy was invented in 1984, after Poppy. So if Poppy was a human experiment and she was perfect, then why are Huggy and all the other experiments then monsters? Well, my theory is that Poppy was a human experiment done back in the 1960s and was a roaring success, but the secret to how it was done was kept under wraps. And as dolls came out of fashion, the company had to evolve, creating new colorful toys like Candy Cat and Huggy.
Well, that makes sense.
You can see based on the toy packaging that this went on for some time. Huggy's packaging is very similar to those of the 1980s. Boogiebot and Candy Cat look much more like toys from the early 2000s. Clearly, the company was able to survive for a long time, but it wasn't enough to keep the company afloat. And so someone in the factory decided to pursue new innovations to bring Playtime Co. back to its former glory. Innovation is key, after all, as we see in one of the death screens. Without any knowledge of how they managed
How
to
long have we been doing this, by the way?
The scientists get to work trying to recreate the magic. Toys that would come to life,
wow.
acting like pets for children, bring them joy. Once again, they succeed in creating something organic, but they miss the one human element that made the original Poppy experiment successful: willingness.
The fact that in
Stella was
regular logic, if you even have the idea of bringing something to life like that, like toys or whatever, you're a fucking crazy person.
Oh yeah, like the fact they kept this under wraps.
Yeah. If,
for as long.
If you ever told me that you want to bring a toy to life, I'm smacking the shit out of you.
I'm not smacking the shit out of you. I'm knocking your ass out.
the perfect subject. She seemed like she'd be over the moon with living forever as a child. However, our scientists may not have known about Stella and what made her, and therefore Poppy, special. I bet you that characters like the disgruntled storeroom worker Rich that we meet in the tapes are people that have been turned into these monstrous toys. He doesn't seem all that pleased with the company making his life difficult, and we know that although they may have a clean, sparkly outward image, Playtime don't tend to treat their employees very well. Wouldn't be too hard to believe that they saw
really
the tape
don't.
of Rich complaining and decided he needed to be disciplined in a very special way. But Rich doesn't have that childlike wonder of Stella or that natural love of toys, and so when he gets made into one, he becomes a monster. The experiment backfires and starts killing the employees. The scientist locked himself away in the same room that we found Poppy. She was patient zero, locked away in the case to protect and study her, until of course we come along and set her free. There you have it, friends, my predictions for Poppy Playtime. Was I right? Was I wrong? I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. But hey,
For most of it,
we don't have to wait. There's a lot of things you were wrong about, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Because
there were some things you were pretty close to, but others not even close.
Yeah.
Time. Was I right? Was I wrong? I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching.